After rebuilding over the last few years, from where I stand and how I see things, the Detroit Pistons, their core is now complete. Now, when I say that, that doesn't mean they're going to come out next season and they're going to win 50 plus ball games. But the way that this Detroit Pistons organization is constructed, from Troy Reaver in the front office to Coach Monty Williams and the roster that we currently have, I think the Detroit Pistons have everything you need to build and become a successful NBA franchise. And I think the number one thing, the most important thing that every team needs to be successful in the NBA, you need that player to build around. And I feel like we definitely have that with Cade Cunningham. And Cade Cunningham was the number one overall pick in the 2021 NBA draft. And that NBA draft, from about picks number 1 to number 5, was pretty loaded. But I still think Cade Cunningham was definitely the right choice at the number 1 pick. I like him over Evan Mobley, and I also like him over Scotty Barnes, who won the Rookie of the Year in the 2021-2022 NBA season. But nonetheless, I feel like Cade Cunningham on a national level, when it comes to the media, when it comes to networks like ESPN, I think he's severely underrated. And we all know that the only reason he's underrated is because he's on the small market team with the Detroit Pistons, and on top of that, we've been a rebuilding team for the last few years, so we haven't been really worth talking about unless people were talking about, how bad we are. I'm sure you guys see all of that, especially on social media. That's why I'm really excited for these next couple of years, because I know these guys are going to help put the Detroit Pistons back on the map. But nonetheless, Cade Cunningham, I think he's going to be the guy to build around, at least for over the next 5, 6, 10 years, if we can keep him that long. And I think he's going to be a superstar in this league. You guys know how I feel about Cade Cunningham. My favorite part of his game, is what he brings to the table offensively, because he can beat you and pick you apart in so many different ways. Now, what you gotta love about Cade Cunningham is that he's probably going to blossom into one of those guys like Luka Doncic that becomes the ultimate mismatch creator. When you look at Cade Cunningham, he's 6'7" and he's 220 plus pounds, but he can play the point guard position. Now, I can see him, he's going to be bringing so many headaches, because when you're playing the point guard, you try to have a point guard guard him, he's going to be too small for Cade Cunningham. You put a bigger wing on him, he's very shifty, he can handle the basketball, and he can break down just about anybody in the NBA and get to his spot. So I love the size that he brings. And then offensively, he's just a very talented 3-level scorer. We look at his 3-point shot, he's shown that he can knock it down off the catch and off the dribble. And a lot of people like to point to his shooting numbers, but you got to understand that whenever Cade was out there on the court, we had some pretty bad lineups out there, and not many guys outside of him were a threat. So it's easy to double team, trap him. And when you're getting double teamed and trapped, and when your teammates are not a threat, you're not getting many wide open or high quality jump shots. Now, I expect that to change next season with all the weapons that they have around Cade Cunningham. I think he's going to be getting a lot more easier looks, and his efficiency is going to skyrocket. So he can score at the 3-point line. He can also get into the mid-range and knock down a mid-range pull-up shot, and he's a great finisher around the rim. He has terrific touch. He can finish with both hands. He has post work. He can finish through contact, and he can also get up and yam it on someone. So he's a complete scorer, and as he goes on in his NBA career, he's only going to get better and better and smarter when it comes to his shot selection. Now, what makes Cade Cunningham so dangerous as an offensive player is not only is he a gifted scorer, but he's also a gifted playmaker. And this is what I mean when I say Cade Cunningham, he can beat a team in so many different ways. He's one of the few guys in this league that can completely control the pace of a ball game. He can slow it down, he can push it in transition, and we see guys like Luka Doncic, who I just compared him to, Chris Paul, LeBron James. These are guys in the NBA that can control the game by the pace that they're playing at, and I definitely see that in Cade Cunningham. He's a great playmaker when it comes to transition offense. I know you guys remember that one play. He threw like a half-court bounce pass to Sadiq Bey through like 2 defenders. That pass right there is so crazy. And then also in the half court, you can tell he processes the game really quickly. He has great decision making. He knows when to make his decisions quickly, and he also knows when just to wait a little while to make those decisions. So I'm going to be very excited to see him running this offense. We have so many fun guys to watch run the wing, from Asor Thompson to Jaden Ivey. Jalen Duren can get out on the wing. He can get out and run the floor on the fast break. So it's gonna be exciting watching the Detroit Pistons next season with Cade Cunningham quarterbacking for this offense. And also, he's no slouch on the defensive side of the ball. We just talked about his nice size, 6'7", 220 pounds. You're gonna be able to put him on a few different positions, and he's gonna be able to annoy whoever he's defending. So I'm really excited about Cade Cunningham being our #1 guy over the next few years, and I could talk about his game all day long. But now we're going to talk about another thing that's important when you're talking about a completed core for an NBA organization. Now, every team needs a superstar, and that superstar also needs a co-star, and I think we found that in Jaden Ivey. And just like Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey is also going to be in the backcourt for the Detroit Pistons. He's probably going to be listed as a shooting guard for next season. And just like Cade, there's so much potential inside Jaden Ivey. And we all know the most dangerous part of his game is his athleticism and his ability to get downhill. And what I love about Jaden Ivey, he knows how to use his athleticism to his advantage. He's very patient when he's breaking down a defender. He'll rock them to sleep, and as soon as that defender falls asleep, he'll use that elite quick first step to get downhill and get to the basket. And I think that's the best part of his game, how good he is of a finisher around the rim. Finish with the left hand, finish with the right hand. He's very acrobatic. He knows how to contort his body, and probably the most fun part of it all, he will get up and put someone on a poster. So I think his ability in the half court and also in the transition game to get to the rim, I think it is very lethal, and as of right now, it's the best part of his game. And also his role for the Detroit Pistons, he's going to be a great guy, a great secondary ball handler. He can operate the pick and roll. He can set guys up for easy finishes. He's going to attract so much attention when he's getting downhill, and it's going to lead to easy cuts, wide open threes, and then just easy drop off dunks to guys in the dunker spot. And also, he's no slouch on the defensive side of the ball either. He stands at 6'4", 205 pounds, and he has a 6'9.5" or 6'10" wingspan. And if you watch Jaden Ivey play in college and last year in the NBA, his rookie season, he gets a lot of steals in the passing lanes because of that length and because of that athleticism. He's insanely fast, but if he's giving effort on the defensive side of the ball, he's going to be a problem defensively because he has the lateral quickness. He's probably quicker than 90% of the guys in the NBA, and then he has extremely long arms. So I love Jaden Ivey, what he's going to bring on the offensive side of the ball, the excitement he's going to bring to his teammates and to the crowd, and also he's not going to be no weak point on the defensive side of the ball. So I think we have a superstar with Cade Cunningham, a guy that we're going to build around for the next few years. I think we have his running mate, and coincidentally his running mate is going to be his backcourt partner, Jaden Ivey, who I think can become a co-star for the Detroit Pistons. And another thing that's so important when we're talking about a core for an NBA team, for a team that's trying to become successful, you need very valuable role players. And I think what the Detroit Pistons have done over the last few years in the draft, making trades, free agency, I think they have some high quality role players on this basketball team. And I think it's very important to have these high quality role players to have around your stars, just to relieve a little bit of pressure off of them. Like, for example, we have a guy now in Jalen Duren that's really good at rebounding the basketball. basketball. You look at him down the stretch of last season when he came back from his injury. He had a lot of monstrous games when it came to rebounding. Also, we have a rim protector with size now in Jalen Duren. So just little things that take pressure off the best players on the basketball team. And I think Jalen Duren, he offers a lot of that. He's going to come out. He's going to set some great screens on the offensive side of the ball. He's going to roll hard to the rim every single time. And I think he's going to get a bunch of easy looks playing alongside Cade Cunningham and Jaden Ivey. And then on the defensive side of the ball, I don't think he's talked about enough how good of a defender he is. Yes, I know he's exceptional at blocking shots, but he can also switch out on the perimeter. He can guard smaller players, and more importantly, he can get a good shot contest on smaller guys when he's out there on that island. That's very important for bigs in today's game. So I think Jalen Duren, I think for right now, he's a high quality role player, and I definitely think he has the ceiling to be an all-star in this league one day. Also, the guys that we got in this year's draft, I feel like they are also players that's going to make life easier for guys like Cade Cunningham and Jaden Ivey. We look at Asor Thompson, who displayed so much in the summer league, really did a little bit of everything. My favorite thing that I saw from him was his playmaking ability, his ability to process the game. He made a lot of great passes in transition and in the half court. And also, I love his nose for rebounding the basketball. The more rebounders, the better. He had a lot of outings in the summer league where he had a high rebounding game. So Asor Thompson, great rebounder, great passer, and he's also a great defender, which I also think is very important for the Detroit Pistons. I don't think during this rebuild we've had a defender as versatile as him. If you watched him in the summer league, he was rotating down, blocking shots, he's getting steals on and off the basketball, and he was staying in front of his man. He seems to be a great defender, so I'm really excited about that. Also, Marcus Sasser, I think he's going to make life easier for guys on the Detroit Pistons with his ability to knock down the three-point shot. We finally saw it in his final summer league game. He came out, dropped 40 points, and he had 5 3-pointers on 9 attempts. Even when he played at the University of Houston, he knocked down, he averaged damn near 4 threes a game. It was 3.8 threes per game, and he shot 43% from the three-point line, which is crazy. So he can shoot the lights out, and also he's a valuable and disruptive defender. So I love him. And then we look at some of the older players that we have on this team. We look at Alec Burks, who can knock down the three-point shot and also has playoff experience. And also, if you need him to, he can call his own number and create his own shot. We still have Bogey on this basketball team. He had his best scoring output last season with the Detroit Pistons. I believe he averaged 22 points per game. And we all know we had a lot of injuries last season, and he was one of the more healthier players on the team. So he did have the green light. But even though he had the green light, he was still efficient. So I love Bogey. He's an extremely good three-point shooter. He can also create his own shot. He's not the best defender or best rebounder, but he's a damn good three-point shooter. We just brought in Joe Harris, who can also knock down the three-point shot. And then you have Monty Morris. You have Killian Hayes still on this basketball team. So, and then we look at the front court. Still have James Wiseman, Marvin Bagley, and Isaiah Stewart. So a lot, like I said, a lot of different guys that can do a lot of different things on this basketball team. So I feel like they have the right group of guys right now, and right now it's all about development and making sure these guys are getting better each and every day. And I think a big part of our season, how many games we're gonna win, is how big of a step can Cade Cunningham take next season. And you guys know me, I'm putting all my money on him, man. I think he's so special, and I think the Detroit Pistons, they're going to be a lot better than what they were last season. But I feel like the core is now complete, and now we just have to develop it. And I'm really glad that we have Coach Monty Williams to help us in a part of this process. We look at who he previously worked with, the Phoenix Suns. They were a young team. They had a star player in Devin Booker, also another #1 overall pick in DeAndre Ayton when he came over. And they also had the addition of Chris Paul, but it was a completely different franchise. So I'm hoping Monty Williams can help us do the same thing. But that's going to be it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed, please leave a like, comment down below if you agree or disagree, and then subscribe for more weekly content. Do this all the time, man. And that's curtains.